Welcome everyone to this 45-minute power flow. We're going to start at the top of our mat. So when you're ready, come to the top of your mat. Feet are about hips width distance apart, really grounding into all four corners of your feet, spreading your toes nice and wide. As you feel ready, relaxing your arms by your sides, shoulders back and down, and when you feel ready, gently closing down your eyes. Today's practice is called surrender, so it's all about surrendering to your practice and to the pose and letting the breath guide you through your practice. I really want you to focus on uniting your breath and your movement in today's class. We'll be moving through some strong poses and some long holds. So if you're finding it challenging, just always come back to the breath. Let's start to breathe in and out through the nose together. And if it's in your practice, welcome in your Ujjayi Pranayama. So a slight restriction at the back of the throat to make a hissing sound. Ujjayi Pranayama breath allows us to stay steady and focused as we move through some challenging poses in class. Gently start to suck the belly button in towards the spine. And feel the power of your legs as your feet press down into the ground. One long line all the way from the soles of your feet out the crown of your head. A strong foundation in Tadasana, mountain pose. When you feel ready, blink your eyes open. We'll start with one traditional sun salutation. As you inhale, float the arms high, upward salute, palms touch. Exhale, fold over the legs. We'll take this first one nice and slow. Bend the knees as you fold over, letting your upper body rest onto your thighs. On your next breath in, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana, straighten the back. As you exhale, plant the hands down, step to a high plank position, dome through the upper back, press through all 10 fingers. Inhale, rock forward over the wrists. Exhale, bend the elbows to come all the way down to the mat. Inhale, cobra pose, untuck the toes, reach open through the chest. Exhale, come to downward facing dog, hips up and back. About 5 breaths here. Relax through the shoulders as you lengthen through the spine. Shake out the head, releasing any tension that might have built up in the head and neck. Maybe a slight bend in the knees for our first down dog practice. On your next inhale, rise onto the balls of your feet, bend the knees and look forward to your hands. Then step to the top, halfway lift as you arrive, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale to fold. Inhale, upward salute, rise up, palms touch. Exhale, fold straight back down to the mat. This time as you inhale, step your left foot back, low lunge, open your chest towards the front of the room. Exhale, come to pyramid pose, stay high on the ball of the back foot. Inhale, reach forward, low lunge, open. Exhale, downward facing dog, step both feet to meet each other. 2 breaths here. Strong, slow, and steady breath. As you inhale, left foot steps forward, long, low lunge, open through the chest. Exhale to pyramid pose, straighten the left leg, ball of the back foot. Inhale, reach forward, open the chest. This time, exhale, forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, fingertips to your shins. And exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing. Salute. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale, right foot steps back, long, low lunge, open the chest. Exhale, pyramid pose. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale to down dog. Inhale, right foot steps forward. Exhale, straighten the right leg. Inhale, long lunge. Exhale, fold, top of the mat. Inhale, rise to standing, palms touch. Exhale, fold to the mat, one more on each side. Inhale, left foot steps back, open the chest. Exhale, pyramid pose. Inhale, long low lunge. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, downward facing dog. Starting to get into a bit of a flow now. Inhale, left foot forward, open. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, open it up. Exhale, top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, rise to standing, maybe a little back bend. Exhale, fold straight back down. Inhale, right foot back, last time. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, reach it forward. Exhale, down dog. Right foot forward. Pyramid pose as you breathe out. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, rise to standing, palms touch. Exhale, Samasthiti here, mountain pose. Relax your hands by your sides. Tap into how you're feeling now after we move through those flows. Notice what the heart rate's doing, what your breath is doing. Can you bring the breath back to a steady place? Long, slow, and deep. Inhale. Reach the hands high, open your eyes, upward salute. Exhale, fold down to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, Adho Uttanasana. Exhale, plant the hands. Come back through a flow, so high plank. Exhale, lower all the way or halfway down through Chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog or cobra pose. Exhale, roll over the toes, downward facing dog is where we meet. 3 breaths here. Notice what the mind is doing now that we've started to fasten the pace of the practice. As you inhale, roll forward to high plank. Then come into an upward facing dog, keeping the toes tucked, if that's okay for your lower back. Open through the front of the chest. Now float the left foot, curl it in towards your head, bending at the knee. And then bring it up and over, plant the ball of the left foot, opening up to wild thing. Open through the front of the chest towards the ceiling. Reach through the left hand. One more breath here. And then coming back to that upward facing dog with tucked toes, open through the chest. Other side, bend the right knee, float the foot. As you exhale, land it up and over into wild thing pose. Moving back in upward facing dog, tuck the toes. Down dog is where we meet. Surrender to your practice, surrender to the pose. Let what will be. Shake out through the head. As you inhale, step the right foot forward between the hands, setting up for warrior one pose. Reach the hands towards the sky, ground through the back heel. Spinning towards the front of the room. See if you can spin your hips so they're facing the front of the room rather than opening out to the side. Maybe you need to use your hands to adjust you. And then reach your hands high. You can either keep your gaze forward or look up towards your hands if you like. If you're doing that, make sure you keep slightly tucked under with the tailbone. Relax through the shoulders. Start to feel the right thigh burning as we hold here. With each breath, sinking a little deeper into the pose and into your practice. Final breath. Inhale, straighten the legs straight to the other side, so curl the right toes in. Bend through the left knee, we're facing the back of the room now. Hips face the back of the room, arms lengthen up towards the sky, maybe the gaze reaches too. Can you keep a sense of softness in the pose?
Slightly tucking the belly button in towards the spine so we're maintaining the integrity in the hips here. Final breath. As you exhale, side angle, bring the left hand down on the inside of the left foot. Reach the right arm up and over towards the back of the room. Feeling an opening through the right side of the body and the left hip as well. Maybe you can bend a little bit deeper into that left knee. Ground through the sole, the outer sole of the right foot. What does it feel like to surrender to the present moment? One breath at a time, we move. Inhale, come back up to standing, straighten both legs. Coming to the other side, side angle pose on the right, right hand down on the inside of the right foot. Reach up and over with the left hand. Remembering your Ujjayi Pranayama, in and out through the nose. Final breath. Both hands frame the front foot, spin on the back heel, and then come to a plank position, moving through a flow or straight to down dog. Uniting your breath and your movement. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale brings you back, downward facing dog, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, three-legged dog with the right leg, reach it high. Then curl it in towards the chest, plant it down between your hands. Spin on your back foot and then reach up and over into Warrior Two pose. Arms reaching long. You spin your hips over towards the side edge of the room. The only thing facing the front of the room is your gaze. Looking over your front middle finger. Can you reach with power evenly through both arms? It's as if your left hand is reaching back towards your past, your right hand front towards the future. But all that really matters is the present, the here and now, the line in the middle of your body, your spine. You bend a little deeper into the right knee. Hold here even if you don't want to. Flip and reverse, reach your right arm high, straighten through the front of the leg, release. As you exhale, coming to half moon, balance onto your right foot. Maybe you use a block under your right hand or anything, any props that you have around you, even a drink bottle. Start to open through your hips, float your left leg towards the back of the room. Left arm reaches towards the ceiling. Look down towards the floor. Maybe your gaze reaches up towards your fingertips if you've got your balance. One more breath here. Big transition, we're moving to the back of the mat. So ground your left foot, ground your right hand, and then open up into a simple twist, lunge twist around the ball of the back foot, opening your chest towards the left side of the room. Start to ground through the outer blade edge of your right foot. Hold onto your left knee with your left hand, and then start to move into a side plank, curling your left knee in towards your chest. Can you push through your right hand, reach your hips up and away from the mat. One more breath here. Practicing a sense of santosha, contentment with wherever you are in the practice. If you come out, don't worry, just smile and come back into it. Round through the left hand, reach the left leg high, moving through a three-legged flow. If you want, you can meet straight and down dog. Reach it up and back, downward facing dog. Let's take a couple of breaths here. Then land again in the center. Breath moves in and the breath moves out. Inhale, three-legged dog with the left leg, reach it high. Curl in towards the chest. Plant it down between the hands at the top of the mat and then spin and open up into Warrior Two. This time we're facing the back of the room with the gaze and the side of the room still with our hips and our chest. Tap into how you're feeling now that a little bit more fire is building through the practice. Surrender to the pose, surrender to the here and now. One breath at a time. Inhale, reverse. Reach it up and back, start to straighten through the leg. Release. Coming into half moon on the left side, so start to float your right foot, reach it towards the front of the room now. Maybe the right arm reaches high, maybe the gaze lifts towards the sky. Hold here, grounding through the big toe. Big transition, moving towards the front of the mat now. Lunge twist on the left side, so left hand grounds down. Ball of the back foot open through the right side of the body. Coming onto the outer blade of the left foot this time. Curl the knee in towards the chest and then open it up into a side plank position. Maybe you're even holding onto the big toe of the foot. Wherever you are, be happy with, be content with. It's right where you're meant to be. Ground the hands down, either move straight to down dog or through any flow you like. Down facing dog. As you inhale, come onto the balls of the feet. Bend the knees and look forward as you breathe out, and then make your way to the top of the mat anywhere you like. Slowly roll up to standing on your inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, Samasthiti, mountain pose, relax down. Round through all four corners of the feet. Close your eyes just for a few breaths. Blink, open your eyes. We're going to move through something called the breath of joy. So it's a 3-part inhale and a 1-part exhale. So our feet are just about wider than your shoulders. Start to bend into the knees, get a bit buoyant, a bit fluid. And then we're going to do inhale 1, inhale 2, inhale 3, and then exhale, ha. So you make a ha sound on your exhale. So you go, starting when you're ready. So it's inhale a third, inhale 2/3, inhale fully, exhale, ha. Using this kriya, this pranayama to clear out anything from your life you no longer need. Think about it leaving you as you shout, ha. 2 more. Maybe close down the eyes for your last one. Forward fold, top of your mat. Let yourself hang side to side. Let everything go. Plant through the hands. Step your way through a flow or straight to down dog. And for this last part of the flow, can you really surrender to your practice? Inhale, right leg towards the sky, 3-legged dog. This time, bend the knee, open through the hip, yawn your hip open. See if you can keep your shoulders square. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, tap your right knee to your right elbow. Inhale, reach it up and back, 3-legged dog. Exhale, tap it to your left elbow this time. Then shoot it out to the side, come onto the blade edge of the right foot, open up for forward triangle. Imagine that you're splitting your heart open towards the sky. Allowing your breath to hold you here. One more breath. Then left hand back towards the mat. Curl the knee in towards the chest. Reach it up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale. Step it through, reverse warrior. Open it up and then reach high to the sky. Keep a bend in the right knee. Side angle this time. Use your knee as a ledge for your forearm as you reach your left arm up and over. See if you can relax your neck and head down. Keep a nice generous bend in the right knee. Stay here, or maybe you can float your right arm up off the knee, using the strength of your abdominals to hold you here. We won't be here for long. Use your breath to hold you. As you exhale, coming into a variation of arrowhead, reach your arms towards the front of the room. And then pour the weight into your right foot. Start to gently float your left foot up off the ground into aeroplane warrior 3 pose. Reach through your back foot, reach through your fingertips. Imagine that you're grabbing something in front of you. And then as you exhale, bring your left knee in towards your chest, curl it in nice and tight. Got a couple of options here. Grounding into all 4 corners of your right foot, you can either hold onto your knee or you can hold onto your big toe with your peace fingers and start to extend your foot forward. Wherever you are, holding onto your right hip, start to bend slowly through your right knee. We're coming all the way to a seat, but we're going to hover right before we touch the ground. You can use your hands on the ground here. Reach the sole of your foot towards the front of the room. Crouching maybe just for a moment with your bum off the ground and then release it all the way down. Might need to adjust on your mat. Curl your right knee in towards your chest. Sole of the foot facing the front of the room, toes flex towards your knee. Ground through your left hand. Inhale, reach your right arm high. As you exhale, start to reach for the front of the room, reach for your left foot. Either stay here or go for the bind. So you're going to wrap your arm around your right leg. Either stay here in a half bind, or maybe you're reaching your left hand around to grab your right hand. You can hold on to the fingertips or the wrist or a piece of clothing, whatever you can grab. See if you can keep the chest open towards the front of the room, looking towards your foot. Maybe you're starting to fold over that left leg. Again, being happy and content with wherever you are in your practice. And gently unravel the arms, ground into the sole of the right foot. We're going to try to come back up to standing. Now you can use your hands for support if you need. I'm going to. Hold on to either the knee or the foot. And then maybe you need to rock and roll a little bit to get you all the way up to standing. You can bend the left knee. Come all the way up, curling your heel in towards your left glute. So we're in a thigh stretch now. Coming into Nataraja dancer's pose, hold on to the inside of the left foot. Start to open through the front of the chest towards the front of the room and kick into your hand with your back foot. Hand can either stay on your chest or start to reach forward out in front of you. Again, imagine that you're grabbing something out in front of you. If you come out, just smile and come back into the pose. Kicking back into that foot. Reach the arm forward. And release. Bend through the knees, shake out through the feet. Take a flow to flush it out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale halfway. Exhale, plant the hands. Step or float back through a flow. All right, inhale, three-legged dog with the left leg. Bend the knee and open through the hip. Yawn the hip open towards the side. See if you can keep the shoulders relatively square. Take a big breath in. Exhale, tap the left knee to the left elbow. Inhale, reach it up and back. Exhale, cross it over. Tap your right elbow. Shoot the foot out towards the side. Fallen triangle. Right arm high. 2 breaths here. Round through the right hand. Tiger curl it in towards you and then reach it up and back once more, three-legged dog. This time plant the foot between the hands. Reach up and back, reverse warrior. Coming into side angle pose. So ground your forearm into your left knee and then reach up and over with the right arm. Maybe you can reach your left arm towards the front of the room. Grab something out in front of you. Spin your chest towards the floor. Ball of the back foot, arrowhead variation. Start to float the back leg, coming into warrior 3. Reach your fingertips towards the front of the room. Right knee in towards your chest. Again, either holding onto the knee or the big toe. You've got the big toe, start to lengthen out through the leg and then bend through the left knee as we come down to the ground. Maybe you need your hand out beside you for support. Maybe you can hover your bum just a little bit off the ground. Hold for 2 and 1. Ground the hip bones into the floor. Maybe you need to reposition. Curl the left knee in towards you. Ground through the right hand. Inhale, left arm high. Exhale, reach towards your foot. Maybe you're staying here. Maybe go for the half bind or the full bind. Chest facing the front of the room. Try and keep a straight spine. Maybe you're folding over that leg into Marichyasana. Releasing the bind, letting go of the pose. Grounding through the sole of the left foot. Then try come back up to standing again. You can rock and roll, use the hands for support any way you need to get all the way back up to standing. And then right heel in towards your bum. Hand on the inside of your right foot. Start to reach forward and kick back with your right foot. Natarajasana dancer's pose. Eye gaze, drishti on one point. Surrender. And release. Let it go. Flush it out with the flow. Inhale, maybe a back bend. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Chaturanga. Up dog. And downward facing dog. Now it's time to let the flow go and move into our more restorative part of the practice. Inhale, float onto the balls of the feet, bend the knees and look forward, and then step all the way to the top and come to a seat. Ground into the soles of the feet and start to roll all the way down to your back. Stretch yourself out long, so legs long and arms long. Reach your arms up above your head. Take a big stretch, point through the toes, reach through the fingertips. As you exhale, bring your fingertips towards the front of the room and start to peel the shoulders up off the mat. Look towards your toes, engage the abs, and then exhale back down to the mat. 2 more like that. Inhale and exhale. Final time, inhale. This time we hold. Either stay or engage the abs to float the toes off the floor. Look towards your big toes, point out through the toes. For 3, 2, and 1. Release. You're going to come into a shoulder stand. If you prefer to do any other inversions for the end of class, such as headstand or anything you like, feel free to come into that. For shoulder stand, let's ground into the palms of the hands, point through the toes, and then lift the toes towards the sky, hips up towards the sky. If you need to readjust, simply bend through the knees, walk your shoulder blades and elbows in towards one another, hands on the lower back or maybe even the middle back, and then start to straighten out again through the legs. See if you can keep your head in a neutral position, so not looking left to right. And just start to let the blood flow down through the feet all the way down into the hips. Maybe even close the eyes or soften the gaze. You feel ready, starting to come into either so bringing those feet towards the back of the room, or you can start to bend the elbows and bring the knees in towards your ears. Whatever's more comfortable for you. Just being mindful not to compress the neck too much. So I find personally that Halasana, when my legs are straight, my neck is a little bit compressed, so I prefer to come into ear pressure pose. Choose whatever's right for you. Then ground through the palms of the hands onto the mat. Slowly start to unravel through the spine, roll down. Start to lengthen the legs out in front of you, setting up for fish pose. So we're going to press into our forearms to come up and look towards our feet. Walk your elbows in towards one another, and then walk your hands underneath your bum. Puff open through the chest, point your toes, look towards your toes, and then slowly as you puff open your chest, start to reach your gaze maybe towards the back of the room. If that's feeling okay, you can start to bring the top of the head down towards the mat. Fish pose is our rebound for shoulder stand. We should spend about half the time that we spent in shoulder stand in fish pose. So we'll spend about 5 more breaths here. Maybe open and close the jaw. And then slowly curl your chin in towards your chest, bring your gaze towards your feet. Release your hands towards the side and start to roll down to the floor. We'll come into one more back bend, so ground through the soles of the feet. You've got a couple of options here. You can either come into supported bridge pose, you'll lift the hips up and slide something underneath your hips, like a block or a cushion or whatever you've got. Otherwise, you can do traditional bridge pose, clasping the hands, walking the shoulder blades in towards one another. So come wherever you need to. I'm going to cue wheel pose. If you're coming into wheel pose with me, start in bridge pose, and then ground the soles of the hands onto the floor beside your ears, elbows facing the ceiling. Make sure your feet are parallel, maybe even slightly pigeon-toed, and as you feel ready, on your exhale, start to press through the hands, lift the chest up, and lift the chest towards the back of the room. Maybe your gaze can reach down towards between your hands. If you feel any compression in the lower back, just come out and stay in supported bridge pose or any other variation. 2 more breaths here. Then curl your chin in towards your chest. Slowly start to roll down back to your mat. Let your knees knock in towards one another. Bring your hands onto your body. Curl your knees in towards your chest and start to rock and roll up along the length of the spine until you come all the way up to a forward fold at the top of your mat. And then roll up to standing on your inhale. Palms touch above you. Exhale, bring it in towards your chest. Final pose, we'll do a twist. So come into Utkatasana, sit nice and low into your chair pose. Bend through the knees, reach through your hands. Slightly tuck your belly button in towards your spine. Last little bit of work here. Then bring your palms to touch, spinning towards the left. Hook the right elbow onto the outer left knee. Maybe gaze reaches the top of the room, the ceiling. Back through center, straight to the other side. Hook the left elbow on the outer right knee. Twist. Feel that decompression through the spine. Coming back to chair pose, an option for a crow here. You can either crow into a flow or just flow straight to down dog. Otherwise, if you're feeling done with the flow today, just meet us in on the floor in a seated position. As you feel ready, plant the hands down, step or jump back through a flow. Final vinyasa. And then as you feel ready, coming all the way back down to the floor to a seat. Spread your legs long, flex through the toes. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, fold forward into Paschimottanasana, forward fold. We'll do quite a passive forward fold for this one, so you can round through the spine here. And really just surrender to the pose, surrender down into the mat. Feel yourself melting into the mat. Our rebound pose from bridge or wheel. Feel as your spine moves in the opposite direction of a back bend. And enjoy the feeling of rounding. Something that we often avoid in yoga. We often try to keep a straight spine. So just enjoy the feeling of really rounding through the spine, opening through the backs of the shoulders. And then slowly roll through the spine all the way onto your back, coming into corpse pose, Shavasana. Relaxing everything down, arms spread nice and wide, feet spread wide. Toes splay out to the side of the room. And just notice as your natural rhythmic breath comes back into your body. Our final release and final surrender of the practice. It's time now to let everything go.
Inhale nice and deeply, and then exhale completely. To bring some movement back into your body. And you take a big stretch up and overhead. Before you roll over onto one side. Stay here for a couple of breaths to stabilize. And then gently press your way up into a seat. Gently float the palms to touch in front of your heart space and bow your chin in towards your chest. Moment of gratitude for the practice. And take notice throughout the rest of your day of how you can surrender to the present. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.